Power low or reduce performance. I don't know.
Hello, welcome everybody to 2026. Today we're still doing our show called You Be the Judge. So the show is about you. We put cases, arguments in front of you, and then you become the judge of our situation, story, or our case. So we debate social cases, social issues, but in a form of in a court structure of something like that. So, but at the end of the day, you, the audience, you become the judge. And as part of your judgment, you release your judgment on the comments, right? That's where you become the judge. Why? Because in a lot of situations where there are social issues that went to court or in court, only one person gets to make a final judgment. And sometimes the judgment can go either way. And 90% of the time, judges are not considerate of the social society, how the society will respond, and there is no justice because one person's judgment is not enough. So we decided to create a show called You Be the Judge. I present my case, she presents her case. My name is Eugene. I'm one of the person. I'm a person who represents the people. The prosecutor, my lady next to me, the name is...
I will reintroduce myself as usual, as per usual. Happy New Year, everybody. Happy 2026. And my name is Kamu. The best thing to ever happen to humankind. That is me. I'm joking. Happy 2026. And welcome you back on You Be the Judge. Looking forward to be roasting my opponent next to me because I level. Yeah? I'm looking forward to it. So yeah, this is our which episode?
First, I think it's the
first of this year.
First of this year.
Yeah, first of this year.
But in total, it's the fourth episode. 4 or 5.
Yes. So check us also on our YouTube channel, like and comment, and yeah, man, let's get the fun going. Because obviously, we talk about issues of public interest, and disclaimer: we are not offending anyone. We are not trying to, offend. I don't know, but if you feel like you're offended, take a breather. Don't comment, don't say anything. Just take a breather, and when you come, you can come back and comment. This is just a fun platform where we get to debate on issues of social interest.
No, actually, we want the frustrated and agitated. We want the same person. Why? Because the person has a view or something to say.
We've all got something to say. We all got opinions.
Yes.
Everybody always has an opinion.
But where is the platform for that?
Yeah, but now we're not trying to wait once you get heightened up by a certain topic and we're thinking I have something to say. You end up saying the wrong things. But I suggest that you be calm and don't listen to respond, but listen to understand so that you can respond on a later stage for you to make sense. Yeah. So, yep, I think we should just dwell in today's topic. And it's very interesting, especially from these festive seasons. It's a very nice topic. It's a very nice topic. So, it says that should alcohol be banned on weekend or be restricted on weekends?
Yeah. I represent the people.
Yeah.
You represent
the
crew.
Yeah. I'm the SAB. I'm literally saying, no, you can't restrict it.
Okay. So in this situation, you've got first round submissions, and we've got 7 minutes to make a submission. I make a submission, you make a submission, I make a submission, you make a submission, and they become closing arguments.
Perfect.
Right. So since I'm the person who represents the people,
you have the opening statement.
I have to start because I'm the prosecutor. I've arrested alcohol.
Yeah.
So my 7 minutes starts now, right?
Good luck.
I'm already arrested. Good day. As I present my case to you, honorable members, I am representing the people of South Africa and South Africa at large, and I'm presenting a case against restriction of alcohol on weekends. Okay, I stand here today representing the people of South Africa. This case is not about restricting freedom for the sake of inconvenience or limiting trade without reason. It's about life, safety, and the protection of our citizens from demonstrated harm caused by alcohol. The law empowers this court to ensure that policies adopted by the state are rational, proportionate, and serve the public interest. Section 27 of our Constitutional Code guarantees the right to access health. Section 11 guarantees the right to life. We assert that regulating alcohol sales on weekend is not only a rational and necessary intervention, it is a constitutional imperative. Evidence shows that weekends are priority of peak alcohol consumption, directly correlating with increased road accidents, violence, crime, and hospital trauma cases. The law is clear. Where there is a reasonable connection between the regulation and protection of life and health, the state both empowered and obligated to act, and the state must act. This court is asked to consider whether prioritizing public health over unrestricted commerce is reasonable. Is that reasonable? Our evidence will demonstrate that it's not only reasonable, but it is essential to restrict the sales of alcohol. So, by doing so, I want to present my facts for this case. Number one, alcohol relates trauma. Studies from hospitals across South Africa shows that trauma admission rises sharply on weekends due to alcohol-related incidents, meaning alcohol is in the bag. Alcohol is the motivator. In the Western Cape, trauma cases dropped by 47% on weekends during alcohol sales ban implemented under the Disaster Management Act. In a situation where there is road safety, the National Traffic Management Corporation reports that weekend road facilitates are disproportionately caused by alcohol-impaired driving, representing a clear public safety hazard, which is motivated by alcohol and sales made during the weekend. In a public health becomes a burden. Alcohol-related admission strains our health system, diverting resources from other critical cases, violating the right to access health care. So this is also motivated by alcohol. In legal precedents in South African breweries versus Minister of Corporate Governance and Traditional Affairs, the court upheld temporary alcohol bans during COVID-19, ruling that restricting alcohol was rational, connected to protecting public health, because a person who's drank alcohol doesn't make reasonable judgment. In evidence that I'm going to present in this situation, related to hospital trauma, is related to admissions due to alcohol-related incidents. In road accident reports, increased weekend fatalities, because in weekends, that's when, especially in the traffic departments and agency, they always have roadblocks, not strictly for checking if the cars are safe, but to check if there is no alcohol in the car. And when they find alcohol, that becomes a problem. In a legal situation, when I argue, we say, in the constitutional protection of life and health, Section 11, right to life, and Section 27, the right to health care, support measures to reduce preventable harm, meaning how do we reduce alcohol incidences? Because according to the Constitution, people has the right to life. So instead, in that situation, hospitals have pull a lot of resources to take care of alcohol accidents compared to real life health hazards that happened to people. Restricting alcohol sales directly saves life and reduces public health burden, because public hospitals spend a lot of money taking care of patients involved in accident due to alcohol, because of any person who drank alcohol doesn't have reasonable acts, doesn't have reasonable thinking, He thinks irrationally because of is hiding behind alcohol or intoxication. Rationality principle, section 1 of the Constitution. The law must be rationally related to its purpose, meaning restricting weekend sales evidence-based. It's target, effective, and fulfilling in these requirements because it has to be applied. Courts have upheld alcohol sales restricted in times of crisis, especially during COVID-19, because selling of such is just a no-no. Local municipality regulated imposed alcohol trading hours limits, recognizing as lawful and as rational. And proportional and reasonable timing. In section 36 it says, the measure is limited on weekends, balancing economic interests with public safety. It is least restrictive approach to prevent harm without imposing full ban. So, to the court, I made my submission, and fortunately, I've got seconds left. So I'm going to stop now. And honorable member, I think it's your time.
Okay, can I have a second, please?
Yeah, you can have a second.
Thank you. Much appreciated.
Yeah.
All right. My opening statement is going to be brief, but I'm going to try to be as precise as I can be. Thank you for that, my very learned colleague. I appreciate it. I think my 7 minutes may...
already started.
Oh, okay. Yeah. All right. Thank you for that. As I have heard your opening statement, that was a very good opening statement. It's always an honor debating next to you. So, your honors, my learned colleague, the alcohol industry is important and can be understood across economic, social, cultural, and agricultural. Yes. Dimensions. Sorry. I get too excited. No? So, while it brings a clear benefit, such as number 1, the economic importance. No? So, being that the industry is a major contributor to South African GDP, generating billions of rands through production, sales, exports, and taxation. Right? I'm sorry for that. Just I have a few things that I'm handling on my hands. Number 2, the employment creation that comes from the alcohol industry on its own. Being that the industry supports hundreds and thousands of jobs, both directly and indirectly. No? Many livelihoods, especially in rural areas, they are more dependent, the livelihood is dependent on this very much alcohol industry. So the agricultural importance in South Africa is a global wine producer. That is also part of the alcohol industry that helps to support the livelihood of thousands of people that depend on the alcohol industry. So, in short, what I'm trying to portray to you, my learned colleague and you honorable members, is that though there are negatives and there are also the positive side of the alcohol industry, the consumption and everything else when it comes to sales, the production, and there are many people that actually depend on this. And one being that as it is the major contributor of billions of rand in the South African GDP, why should it be restricted on weekends? Although, well, I believe that there are, how can I put this, measures that can be put forward for us to be able to, to sustain everything else, to put everything on a balance, that we do not do away with the industry on its own, and we do not restrict things that people really enjoy doing. Being that drinking alcohol, I'm gonna put it bluntly, so being that drinking alcohol is nice. socially, when we gather, it's, so why not put measures into place, like I've already said, than doing away with? I would leave it at that for now. Thank you, my Leonard Conley and you honorable members.
That was brief.
It was very brief. I said
Yeah, you still have minutes in your argument. So in this round right now, that's when it's putting our facts, part of argument. So I think I've got 7 minutes starting right now.
Don't you want to take a breather?
No.
Or you just want to dive into it?
No.
Okay.
No. Honorable members, the public at large. My learned colleague here said something, and I was like, people need to go back and redo their legal assignments because of they didn't do that much well based on how they submit the arguments. First of all, my learned colleague raised an issue to say rural areas depending on agricultural form vis-a-vis providing wine services. What my learned colleague doesn't know, which I think my learned colleague is still using old versions of legal documents, is that wine industry is only situated in the Western Cape, specifically in Cape Town, which 2% of large distributors of alcohol are owned by the very small group of people which do not provide the rest of the whole country. And wine farming is only found only in the Western Cape. Now let me take you back, because I think my learned colleague was actually watching lights at the library when some of us were studying. How it became that alcohol to be made was by the French. The French went seeking safety to the Dutch people, the so-called Afrikaners. And they gave them a specific area to say, if you guys live here, we'll protect you, but you need to teach us how to do wine farming. That's how it came that we have something called French hook. So meaning French at the corner of a hook. That's how it became. So the skill was transferred to Dutch individuals, who actually then are currently right now the largest owners of alcohol distributors and alcohol manufacturing in South Africa. And the very same 2% of this group, which is not benefiting South Africa because of all the sales are done by them and only by them, is that they are the ones who actually distribute the alcohol and other alcohol brands around South Africa, which means automatically it doesn't benefit South African agriculture at nothing at all, because of the very same few people who actually do wine farming and actually distribute the very same alcohol are the ones benefiting. The rest of South Africa doesn't benefit nothing from alcohol manufacturing. So I think my learned colleague, during the time where we were studying, was looking at the lights and how confusing the library was. So scratch that. I think my learned colleague didn't understand. One other thing, the very same people she said that are actually doing well and providing agriculture in South Africa, not knowing the very same people who are actually distributing alcohol in South Africa has been being punished by SARS for tax avoidance, trying to avoid paying tax, meaning paying back the very same government that actually gave them the license to sell and distribute the very same alcohol in South Africa. It's called tax avoidance. By doing so, they poured a lot of money in sports and entertainment. That's why it ended up South Africa decided to ban alcohol brands in terms of sponsoring sporting event for the very same thing, tax avoidance. So it's not agriculture, it's not nothing, but the very same people, when they make a lot of money, they do nasty things. They are the ones who actually monopolize the industry of alcohol, because all big brands go through them. And when other distributions are dying, they are the ones who actually coming and buying in majority corporate interest in those companies, meaning which it makes them the sole biggest competitor and the sole monopoly and controller. That's how maybe part of their decision making, they were not sober enough to actually control. The 2% in South Africa that says claim to produce agriculture are the ones actually controlling the whole manufacturing industry and distribution of alcohol. Now I'm done with my learned colleague. I want to present this to the court. Satan in alcohol. There is Satan in alcohol. My learned colleague is laughing. There is Satan in alcohol. I say this to the court, and my court, this is my legal argument to you. I want to explain the Satan in alcohol. When I speak about the Satan in alcohol, this is a symbol of distraction, temptation, loss of control, evidenced by measurable harm. Satan in alcohol. Also, when I speak about the Satan in alcohol, I speak about the deception that alcohol gives people. People promise joy when they drink alcohol. That's the satanic sin. Deception of joy and entertainment and happiness. The drive for people to be happy says drink alcohol, then you'll be happy. That's the satanism. Alcohol enters society discussed as pleasure, relaxation, and celebration. Without alcohol, people don't think they will celebrate proper. But behind that, this is a mark devastating as alcohol, the Satan in alcohol. Alcohol lowers inhibition and judgment, directly linked to violence, reckless driving, and fatal injuries. The satanic and the Satan in alcohol drives people to do bad things because people, they are not sober. A sober mind is a mind that is clear and can make reasonable direction and can protect the people in the car and the rest of community. Medical and policy data consistently show weekends it's peak alcohol time, which affects a lot of people because of during weekends people will say, "Ash, I've done a lot. I need to relax." Part of relaxing, as I've said, is indulging in so-called Satan. Satan makes people to lose control because a person who is in control of his decisions and behavior makes reasonable decisions. But the person who's controlled by Satan, that's the problem. Alcohol doesn't not merely influence behavior. It removes morals. It removes the interest and perception of what people should do good. And people start behaving like demonic demons, motivated by alcoholic Satan. This loss of control is directly a factor of insult, domestic violence, and road facility. Thank you.
Wow, Satan. I've never heard you call Satan in so many ways.
I'm putting my argument.
What has Satan done to you? What has Satan done to you?
I'm starting my case.
No, but like, why? Oh, okay. Thank you.
I'm making my case.
I am not disputing the fact that you're making a case. I am not. Thank you for that, my colleague. Yeah. You've said a mouthful.
Thank you.
Satan is really offended.
We're in court. Behave. Honorable member, behave.
I'm sorry, Your Honors.
You've got your 7 minutes. Wait. Let me pause this. So you laugh. Don't laugh.
I think I'm ready.
This is very serious.
Yeah, it is.
Okay. What is your 7 minutes?
Thank you for that once again. My learned colleague over here started off his statement by correcting me that by the time they were studying or improving their knowledge when it comes to the wine industry and the alcohol industry in South Africa, I was busy staring at the lights in the library. I'm probably using outdated books and I don't take offense. Because we learn every day. I just learned now that everything that has to do with alcohol is satanic. Yeah, and the emphasis was really marinated and fried through for me to understand, and I really understand. Thank you for that. Thank you for the knowledge. But looking at the broader aspects of everything, that we could actually go back a bit. When we're talking about the restriction of alcohol and look at the time when there was COVID-19. COVID-19 came with a lot of restrictions all over the country and all over the world at large, because government institutions had to come up with ways to mitigate the spread of COVID-19. That was one of the most difficult times all over, and yeah, it was really not nice. Going back, it wouldn't be nice either, so we pray that we don't actually go back there. And you know, a lot of things were restricted. Alcohol, cigarettes being included in that. And to be honest, I haven't done my stats when it comes to the economic loss that the country faced in terms of the loss that we faced, especially when the alcohol industry was put to a pause because of whatever that was going on at that particular time and the measures that were put forward by the government. But I understand from just a glimpse of it, I understand that we suffered an economic loss, because remember, like I said on my opening statements, that alcohol industry contributes billions of rands towards the South African economy. And that one we cannot even argue with, as my colleague would know. And also you, your honors, if you'd also like to do your research, it's always there on the internet. So moving forward, so another part that is going to cause a lot of problems for us as a country, should the alcohol, the satanic thingy, be scrubbed out for the weekend. This is the growth of illegal and irregulated alcohol. What do I mean by this? So remember that I think people, let me put it like that, people have a way of coming up with measures to say, whenever something is not there, I'll make a plan to make it come alive. I'm going to go back a bit to the COVID-19, when there was no alcohol that was being sold. The sales were banned. People made their own alcohol. They brewed their own alcohol. So you can imagine how that on its own, number one, how illegal is it? What are the products that are being used to produce that alcohol? Those things that are being used to brew your own alcohol at home, they can cause a lot of health issues. Health issues also contributing to what? To hospital being packed by people that brew their own alcohol because of what? They cannot access. Yes, they cannot have access to the alcohol that... No, don't open your eyes like that. Don't open your eyes like that. You know? So we get the fact that when you buy alcohol, the packaging says the abuse of alcohol is a danger to your health and fine. But now, I am a consumer of alcohol. I'm not gonna lie, I'm a consumer of alcohol. And I do not abuse my alcohol. I know what's the accepted intake of my alcohol, right? So I cannot be brewing alcohol from home and then expect everything to just be smooth sailing. I would get drunk. And what are the chemicals that are put? Who tested the chemical that I'm busy putting there and consuming and putting into my body? You know? Right. That one, I know I'm going to get roasted for it, because they're saying alcohol is bad. He's busy typing, and I know for a fact he's going to roast me about it. But now, this also goes back to the smuggling and counterfeit of products, also used to brew illegal alcohol at home. You know? And then going forward, you spoke about drinking and driving. This is one of the most how can I put this, Mar? especially in the festive seasons, your Easter, your festive seasons and whatnot, because obviously drinking impede your driving concentration and like I've said, we cannot actually do away with something that benefits us as a country. Alcohol benefits us as a country. We cannot do away with it. We'd rather have measures put into place on how to actually help in that particular industry. Also, us as consumers, how do we then take care of ourselves for us not to cause issues, for us not to cause social issues, for us to be able to enjoy the satanic water properly, your honors. And lastly, Satan, I don't have much to say on the Satan type. I honestly don't, because I believe that my learned colleague, your honors, is somebody who's always sober, 365. He does not consume alcohol. The only alcohol he consumes is in his medication, I'm sure. Henceforth, it's easier for him to say Satan.
Thank you for that, honorable member. You made your statement, and I'm going to make my closing remarks and my last submission. This is my last round. Are you ready, comrade? My colleague. Yeah. So this is our last round, and then I get 7 minutes, right? Honorable members, I'm so puzzled and bamboozled, and that my honorable member is making my argument, and I thank you for that, because of my member, my learned colleague is making my own argument about alcohol and being restricted. He's making my argument about people drinking alcohol on weekends, and then alcohol, people involved in accidents, and then fatal accident caused by alcohol is the reason why alcohol should be restricted the sales on weekend. Thank you for that. You already made my argument, and I thank you for that. Now, part of your statement is saying that people during COVID, sale of alcohol was banned completely. Now, it ended up people making their own alcohol, meaning people cannot be without alcohol for a month. A person who cannot be without a substance this person is actually like addicted. Now, these people are no longer doing alcohol for the fun of it, alcohol for celebration, alcohol for relaxing, alcohol for stress away. This is an addiction. They end up buying and making and brewing their own alcohol. This is an addiction, meaning the alcohol that's been sold is an addiction. It's a dangerous substance to consume for consumers, because of if they don't do without for a month, they end up brewing themselves. This is an addiction. This is a dangerous substance and should be no longer sold, especially on weekends. Actually, the selling of alcohol should be 2 bottles a month. People need to drink not more than 2 bottles of alcohol a month. If found, therefore, it's jail time, because what you're consuming is addictive. There's a lot of satanism inside the satanic called alcohol, because of this is addictive. And I thank you that you made my argument mine. This also pushes the angle of fake alcohol. So, in so-called in industries such big as alcohol, I want to ask my little colleague, how much does the so-called industry of alcohol contributes back to the South African economy? And not more than 20% of its gross income, which is billions of rands. So how is that an argument to say alcohol contributes a lot to the economy? No, alcohol contributes a lot to those who are addicted to alcohol, those who are addicted to Satan. So part of my closing remarks is that the satanic in alcohol, a significant proportion of fatal crashes involve alcohol is there. Alcohol, the Satan in alcohol, turned homes houses, homes into crime scenes. Satan changed homes. That's Satan. Satan is the enemy of the poor. The poor cannot live because of. The poor cannot survive because of. The poor live in danger because of Satan. Alcohol. Alcohol extract its highest price from the most vulnerable. The most vulnerable economy, the most vulnerable areas in South Africa consume alcohol, hoping that they can sleep because of they cannot bear the fact of being addicted to Satan. Families lose breadwinners to death due to Satan. People are disabled. People are incarcerated because of the motivation of Satan, aka alcohol. I put this to you, my South Africans. We have had the evidence, the numbers, the tragic. Every weekend South African dies, are maimed, or watch their families torn apart because of alcohol. So heavily, easily available. Hospitals are overflowed, emergency rooms are overwhelmed, roads are littered with the wreck of lives, communities tremble under the weight of alcohol. I call it what it is. There is a Satan in alcohol. It's not a myth, not a story, but a distraction, decide, and devastating that follows every bottle sold without restraint. It enters discussed as fun and leisure, but leaves with broken families, shattered futures, life extinguished far too soon. Your honors, this is not about banning joy. It's about protecting life, safeguarding families, and preserving the future of our nation. Evidence show that even temporary restrictions save life. Even limiting the sale on weekends reduces trauma by nearly half. These are not just numbers. There are mothers, fathers, children, sons, and daughters who could live, but they couldn't because of Satan and alcohol. The law exists to protect the people. The Constitution demands that life and health comes first. Today, your honors, you have the power to stand with the people. You have the power to interrupt the cycle of destruction, exhaustion, the harm, and to tell South Africans that life matters more than liquor profits. Let this court be the shield for the innocent. Let this court declare that weekend alcohol restrictions are unlawful, necessary, and life-saving. And let it be remembered, where alcohols walk, tragedy follows. But where these courts act, hopes, lives, families survive, and communities endure. I submit this to you, my people, my honorable members. Let's deal with Satan. Otherwise, Satan will come for us. Thank you. So, your time starts now.
As part of my closing statement, Your Honors, contribution of alcohol. My then colleague asked about what does alcohol contribute. I do not want to go back and state what I've already stated. But now, doing away with all of this is doing away with someone else's job, their bread and butter, to feed their own families. For everything that is created all over, it's manufactured or whatever I might call it, there's a positive and also there's a negative side of it. How a person chooses to use it, it's their choice. We have more pressing matters in South Africa right now that our government should be focusing on. We have crime. That is the most important matter I think we should be dealing with. We have corruption by our own institutions, government institutions, ministers. Those are the more pressing issues that our government should be focusing on. But no. We are saying that we should do away with the one thing that people are able to gather and sit and actually vent out or talk about their issues, pressing issues in their lives, being that alcohol. If the satanic Satan, is that really satanic Satan? that my colleague is busy stressing about, then you are mistaken. Then let us say we enjoy being in the presence of Satan. Because in African culture, we say that go betere go na bjala than go loya. Yes. I'm saying this to the court. If it's inappropriate, I apologize. But it's just how it is. Yes, we have the negative side of it, being that drinking and driving. We have being that people are losing their lives. But like I've said, for every positive, there's also a negative. For every advantage, there's a disadvantage. How then do we go forward in helping those that are unable to help themselves? Those that are unable to say, this is my cutoff. Those who don't know when to stop. Hence, we have rehabs. We have drug issues. We have rehabs. Yes, we have alcohol issues. We also have rehabs. But how is that, closing the alcohol, banning alcohol on weekends going to mitigate all that? It is not. It is not going to help anything, because we'll be creating issues on top of issues on top of issues, rather than dealing with those issues hands-on and finding solutions, rather than doing away. Are we going to call ourselves a nation where we do away when things do not favor us? How many things should be, if that's the case, then a lot of things we should really do away with. We should really be doing away with a lot of things. And people that have a lot to say about alcohol are people that don't actually indulge on alcohol, but are indulging on other things that are even more pressing, that are even more disgusting than a drunk person. Alcohol, it's a truth syrup. We get to drink, you get to be happy, you get to sleep. You spend your own money that you work for. So there's absolutely no way that I'm going to sit here and say, no, we should be doing away with alcohol. We are not doing away with alcohol, Your Honors. And those who indulge, and also those who don't indulge, but actually enjoy the company of those that indulge, know what I'm talking about. We are not doing away with alcohol. We just need to find ways to do away with whatever that is pressing when alcohol is involved. We're not doing away with alcohol. By that, I say cheers. Thank you very much, your colleague. Satan!
You are done. You still have 2 minutes, but anyway, you're done. So, we're done with our argument, we're done with our cases. The viewer is the judge. Comprende?
Yes, very much.
The viewer is the judge.
Yeah.
The viewer will give us their own judgment. Should alcohol be restricted or not? Should we accept Satan?
Or dine with Satan? Let's dine with Satan.
Satan.
We don't know what Satan did. I personally don't know Satan. Do you know what Satan did?
Do not motivate your case.
I'm not. I'm just saying, with Canadian family matters. Satan limiting.
Thank you.
Okay.
All right.
For another day.
Till we meet again, we'll make it the next case. Sharp.